While Fortnite started out with just one basic simple chest, you may be surprised to know that there are over 30 chests that we have seen in the entire history of the game, ranging from buried treasure chests to galaxy alien chests to even chests covered in chrome. And in today's video, we are going to go back in time and revisit some of the best chests in Fortnite history. These are chests that are just an absolute godsend to find, and once you open them, you might be set for the rest of the game. If you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like and use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop to help support the community we have growing here. If you'd like to see me revisit some of the worst chests of all time or just rank every single chest, I can definitely do that. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get right into it. Firstly, we gotta talk about a chest from Chapter 4 Season 2 and only in Chapter 4 Season 2. That is the Scout Regiment Footlocker. And the thing that makes this chest so strong is the fact that it contained ODM gear. And if I remember correctly, it guaranteed you ODM gear every time you opened it. And I actually just opened up the Fortnite wiki. That is not true. Actually, you get one of either the ODM gear or Thunder Spears, but there is a fairly high chance of actually dropping both, but you are guaranteed one. But the point still remains, the fact that you have a chest that has a 50% chance or higher of giving you one of the best mobility items ever in the entire game, I mean, that should be enough of a reason to put it high. I mean, it's not that rare either. They could be found across over 30 different locations on the map, which you will see throughout the whole video that is actually a lot of opportunity to open it. Now, Thunder Spears don't really move it for me, but ODM gear absolutely does. And this is an example of one of those chests that you have to hunt out. I mean, getting a mobility item like this, especially early in the game, gives you such a significant advantage over other players, and for that reason, it is on this list. Next, let's talk about hollow chests. And honestly, I didn't even really think of these as a chest, but of course, it's in the name. They are defined as a chest, and so they are eligible to be on here. When I was making this list, I mean, I didn't even think about this. It didn't even pop into my head, but after doing research, I mean, let's be honest, it I think deserves to be here. The thing about this chest that I really like is you can pick and choose the item that you want. If you see 2, 3, 4 of these lined up and you don't see a weapon that you like, just hold on to the key and move on to the next hollow chest and just pick the exact weapon you want. If you wanted a gold heavy sniper, just wait for that. If you wanted a gold pump shotgun, just wait for that. Or if you had 2 keys, just get an exotic. And if you had anything more than 2 keys, 3 keys, you could literally get your entire loadout. Get a sniper, get 3 shield fish, get a pump shotgun, you're good. Again, I just like the ability to pick what you're gonna get. And most of the weapons and items that could be found in these hollow chests were pretty good weapons and of high rarity, so you always knew that you were gonna get a high rarity item, not like a green maven or something, you know what I'm saying? Overall, really solid system, really solid chests, and I wish they would come back. Next, let's talk about the block chest, a chest that was exclusively found at the block location. And you want to talk about forgotten about things in Fortnite history, this is definitely one of them. I mean, look, I know the block has its controversy and it's out of the game for a reason, but you cannot deny the block was a great addition to the game for its time, super innovative, and I wish it would come back. I mean, just you gotta have some regulations on this stuff, you know what I mean? But if I remember correctly, I think the block chest was the first ever chest besides the regular normal one that launched with the game, but I could be entirely wrong there, but I do remember this being a big deal when it was added. And the block chest would guarantee you a legendary item, amongst some other things, of course. And while it may be kind of outclassed now because we have seen so many better chests, it is still a really good option and was super important back in the day. Of course, one of the main downsides to this chest is the fact that it can only be found at one location, and that was the block, and to my knowledge, there was only one of them on the entire map. So was it worth fighting for all that way, finding the one chest just to get a legendary item and some heals? I don't know. But it is still pretty decent, and while there have been a lot of really good chests, there have also been a lot of really bad chests, and so I think those bad chests make this one look a lot better. Regardless, a guaranteed legendary will definitely get you on a list like this. Also, it's important to take kind of the time frame into consideration here. This is at a time in Fortnite when legendaries were not just everywhere. Now I feel like you just see legendaries everywhere. You can upgrade weapons to legendary, you can buy them from NPCs, but back then that wasn't the case. Legendary weapons you could only get out of like supply drops and chests, and like rarely floor loot. Legendary weapons were actually rare, and so they were hard to get, which makes this chest better. But anyways, let's take a trip back to Chapter 4 and talk about the Coldblooded coffer. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but these chests were found in those special vaults during the Chapter 4 heisted exotic event. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. And this chest was a guaranteed exotic item every single time. And let me just say something, those exotic weapons, specifically the one from the heisted event, were all very, very good. They were all top tier exotics, and you would honestly take them most times. So the fact that you could basically basically instantly get those exotics is really, really strong. Again, these chests are kind of limited, more limited than something like the Scout Regiment Footlocker, but still, I mean, I cannot emphasize enough how good these exotics were. You have chests that give you a pretty high chance of automatically dropping a heisted breacher shotgun or a blank mag SMG, two incredibly strong weapons and all-time greats. Alright, that might be a little bit of a stretch for the heavy shotgun, but you get what I'm saying. They were honestly not in the game for very long. They are definitely forgotten about in the minds of most people, but they were really solid. Next, and I gotta be honest with you, this is a little bit of a cheap pick, but it's the buried treasure chest. And of course, this is kind of a weird one because in order to get this chest, you obviously must have the buried treasure map, which then leads you to this chest. But oh my god, is this item so strong. This chest can drop up to 4 legendary weapons. Think about that. We were talking about how good the block chest was for giving you 1 legendary weapon. Well, the buried treasure can give you 4. But of course, as you all know, this is not just your regular chest that just sits in a room and you get to open it. You have to not only get the legendary item, but then go however far across the map to the buried treasure location, dig it up, and then you get it. Which can be a little bit of a pain, right? Let's say you find the buried treasure item, but then your chest is in the zone. Well, then you're not really going to go for it most times, right? But I mean, let's say that you do have the opportunity to open this chest. This chest alone is really good and absolutely one of the best we've ever seen. I mean, just put that into perspective. 4 legendary weapons, you're basically playing solid gold in a pub's lobby. An entire loadout of legendary weapons. It doesn't get much better than that. And I'm going to throw my controversial pick in here now. That is the IO chest, but specifically the one from Chapter 2, Season 7. And this chest is really good for several reasons. I mean, first, right off the bat, they were accessible. They were all over the map. They were really not that hard to find as long as you just knew where to look, right? But I'm on the Fortnite wiki here looking at the loot pool of possible items that can drop from this chest. It is the recon scanner, the inflatable, the plasma cannon, the pulse rifle, railgun, pump shotgun, regular SMG, and the AR. Those are all solid weapons that you would love to take. And most, if not all, of the chests that I've ever seen open with this thing contained either one or both of the railgun and recon scanner. And honestly, each of those weapons on their own are very good, but when you put them together, we all know how dominant that meta was in Chapter 2, Season 7. It was incredible. So when you have a chest that almost guarantees that you get both right away, I mean, that's going to be really good. Not to mention a high chance of getting one of the best pistols / explosive weapons of all time, the plasma cannon, and also one of the best mobility items in the inflatable. Everything about this chest is really good, and I really don't have much to knock on or complain about here. I really don't. I guess if I had to pick one thing, and this is really nitpicky, is there's not really a ton of legendary weapons that drop out of this. I mean, you're not even guaranteed a legendary here, but getting the railgun and recon scanner, whether you get them together or separate, are always going to be useful, especially in Chapter 2, Season 7. And next we have quite a popular chest, a chest that I think most people will see coming. That's the Stark Industries chest. Again, I just have such vivid memories of a lot of pros, especially Mongrel, drop into this place and just hoarding straight to the Stark Industries chest, and that's for a couple reasons. For one, they were placed at one of the most popular locations in the entire history of Fortnite, Stark Industries, of course, as the name suggests, but in this you were guaranteed, I believe, epic or legendary, and you were also guaranteed the Stark Industry rifle, an incredibly popular assault rifle, and a really good one at that. Not only that, but this thing almost always dropped a pump shotgun. I don't know if it was a guarantee, but I remember seeing multiple clips of people getting a purple pump shotgun and a Stark Industries rifle. I mean, you're set for the game, right? That's your loadout for the game. That's all you need. These chests were also placed in the vault, so you had the chests that were being placed in the vault, but also across the POI, and everybody was hunting down for them. Look, anything that is almost guaranteeing you a blue or purple spaz, and the pros are absolutely hunting it down for this thing. I mean, I remember the crazy clip, I think it was Mongrel when he dropped in duos, and he had one of his boys hit the emote that would force the player to do it with them, just so that they could go and get the chest ahead of them. I mean, it was that serious. This thing was really good. It's a top tier chest of all time. And finally, rounding out the end of this list, that is Chapter 2, Season 1's rare chest. And we all know this chest, right? It has been in the game for so long, and it's not really anything crazy special. I mean, it just replaced the regular chest. But it was impossible to get an uncommon and rare weapon out of this. It was epic and legendary only. You also got materials, ammo, the possibility of utility, and most of the time heals as well. It's just a really solid solid chest. I have nothing terrible to say about it, but it's not anything crazy out of this world. But it's one of those chests that if you see early game, you are absolutely going to land on it. I mean, I forget what season it was, but I felt like this thing would always drop an RPG, and you all know how strong those are early game. And again, while in early game everyone's fighting with like common and green pistols and SMGs, you are landing with a guaranteed purple or legendary item. These things almost felt like a little bit of a cheat code in early game. Now in middle or late game, they basically became kind of obsolete because you already had those high tier weapons. And I guess while yes, any chest can provide a purple and legendary, it is extremely rare, and the fact that this guarantees it is really good. Again, I have really nothing bad to say about this thing. I mean, it does rarely spawn, and honestly sometimes I forget that they're even in the game because they are such a rare spawn, but it's a chest that you're never going to complain about opening, not one that feels like a chore to deal with. You get solid stuff, and I think it deserves to be here. Alright guys, that was my revisitation for some of Fortnite's best chests of all time, and I would love to rank all of them. I think that would be a super fun video and unique video to make, so if you guys would like to see that, let me know in the comment section below. There are also a ton of awful chests as well. Trust me, after looking at these lists, there are a lot. So if you'd rather see that or see both, let me know. Let me know how I did on this list, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.